Hey, I'm doing a quick tutorial on how to make library style pockets to fit any size project that you have. So these are just a few that I've made. These are out of a crafting book that I got. I used the outside cover for a junk journal, and I took the insides out, and I thought they were kind of cool because of the graphics on them. This is a jelly printed book page, and I'm going to show you that as well. And they're just super easy. All you need is a pair of scissors, your paper, and glue stick. So first I'm going to do just a quick show of how to make a library pocket from a book page. This is just a book page from a book that I took apart to make a junk journal. And you end up with a lot of book pages, like definitely a lot of book pages, and there's a lot of different things you can do with them. This is one of my favorite things. So I'm just going to show you quickly, and then I'll show you how to measure for your project. So all I do is, it's so simple. First thing I do is I fold it back on both sides. Now I'm just eyeballing this. If you have a scoreboard, you could totally do it if you're very exacting. I'm not that exacting. I'm folding it back on both sides, and this is what you have. You have a piece of paper with two sides folded in, okay? And then I'm going to decide how far up my pocket's going to go. So is it going to go this far? Do I want this much? So I'm folding it this way. So this is what it looks like you have. Your page, two pieces folded in, and your flap folded up. Now this is what I'm going to do next is I'm going to cut off where the fold is, right here, just the outside parts. So I'm going to cut that side where I folded it, and it's super easy to tell because you've bent it up as your score. Here's the trick. Ready? Okay, so you have a foot. We're going to turn it over. This is what you have right now. Your page, two sides folded in, and you folded it up. You've decided this is how big you want it. You're going to unfold it, flip it over, fold it up this direction. Awesome. Then you're going to take the pieces that you have folded in and fold them around the other side. You need to keep these pieces because you want to be able to stuff your pocket, and they add, that little extra bit. Now, all you're going to do is glue. So, sometimes I trim, you don't have to, but sometimes I trim. If you want to lessen the bulk of your paper, I'll trim in just a little bit at an angle. Do you see? Now I'm going to glue, just put the glue on this part, on the folded part. This is such an easy way to use up your book pages. And then I'm going to show you I'm going to show you how to position the jelly printing part. Okay, and then there you have your pocket part, and all I'm going to do is I don't have a bone folder, but I'm just going to make sure it's pushed down far enough. Now you have these bits in the back. You can just glue them down as they are, or if you want to lessen the bulk, you can once again cut just a little niche off. You want to glue on the inside because it's going to be stuck to the book pocket. I like using glue stick for this. You can use any kind of glue you want. Now you're ready to decorate it or just glue it in. Now if you want to round your corners, you can just cut them off freehand, or I have one of those crocodile corner punches that I really like, but you don't have to. It's not necessary. and I just round my corners just at the top of the book page, the top of the library pocket. And now you're ready to go to stuff your library pocket with anything you'd like. Now, let me just show you a couple of other things that I've done with jelly printed library pockets. Okay, so this is the top part of your library pocket, the part up here, right? So I just took it to my jelly plate and I did half, right? Then I turned the paper over and I did the third that would be folded up. Now I've already cut this in preparation for making the pocket, but isn't that cool? So then, I mean, you could jelly print the whole thing if you wanted, but I didn't see the need to waste the paint. Isn't that neat? And then just glue it together. Let me show you how to make them fit to any size project or book. Okay, so if this is your book that you're going to use, what you do is you take and you want to put your library pocket here. You want to decide first of all how big you want your library pocket. I actually don't mind this size. I think it's a good size for this size book. So what I would do is I would take and I try to measure and see if it is close to being the same size as the pocket of the book, of the page of the book, and then I fold it from there. So for this one, I would use this same size pocket as I did for here, is this one, and do the folding accordingly. Here's one that I've jelly printed. Actually, this one's glimmer misted, and I'm going to go ahead and let's see, which side do I like better? I like this side, so I'm going to go ahead and fold it in. I'm going to do the same thing I did before. I'm going to fold it in. And fold it in again. Not perfect. Deciding how far up I want my pocket. That's as far up as I want my pocket. This time I'm going to clip it where the fold is. I'm going to clip it where the fold is. And clip it where the fold is. And this side, because I like this side first, I'm going to do the opposite of what I did with the other one. I'm just going to fold back the longer bits. It's kind of cool because you can decide, if you've painted on both sides, you can decide at, which side you like better. Now all I have to do is glue my ends down. And it would be a perfect size pocket for, library pocket for this book. Now you can make them larger. If so, you'd want to make sure that the page was at least a third of a size bigger, or you can make them smaller. So this one I feel would be a perfect size for this book, made from that pocket, that page. Let me show you again. Okay, so I have this, I'm making an envelope style junk journal. Okay, and I want to put a library pocket on this side. So I'm going to decide how big. Now, this was the one that I made from this page. I think that's too big. So, for me. Now, you don't have to cut it down. You can fold it down if you want. I like to cut it down, but that's up to you. So, I'm only going to make mine I'm going to cut off a quarter of the page. Now I'm just eyeballing it at how much I'm going to cut off, but I decided that I would, here's the page, I decided because I wanted it to be big enough, but not that big. It is this much bigger than the size I'm going to use. Do you see? It's about, I don't know, about a ½ inch all the way around. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to fold in one side, fold in another. Since it's blank, and it's kind of cool, I'm going to leave I'm going to use the empty side as the envelope, as the library pocket, and then I can glue more things to it or add some more stuff to it. So this one, I'm going to clip again the same way as before. Clipping and clipping. I know you probably can't see it, but you can if you're sitting right here, you can see the fold of it. See, so I just clipped where the fold was, right? Clipping, clipping, and then I'm going to go ahead and turn this to the back, turn this to the back, and then go ahead and glue my, you know, this is pretty forgiving, so if you don't cut it perfectly, it's not a big deal. If you miss it a little, it's not a big deal. And glue it together just like that, and then you can see that. I'm going to turn it over because the contrast is better, even though this is the outside. Now it's still a little too big for my space, so I'm going to go back and I'm going to fold in a little bit more. Now make sure if you fold it in again, you fold both pieces, you know, the bottom and the top, because you want it to match, in just a tiny bit more. The fun thing about this is that I've been making a lot of really tiny junk journals lately. And so in making those tiny junk journals, they're not a lot of templates, or if you have a die cutting machine, you don't always have the exact die that you need for that. And it's just been kind of a fun way to make my own embellishments, also to use up a lot of book pages or different things that I've worked on. Okay, so here's my library pocket so far. Let me see if I like the size. Now I actually like this size. I don't know if you guys can see it, but I like that size. Now I can make a decision whether I want to round the corners or not. I could also, now that I've already folded it, I could take it to my jelly plate now and go ahead and jelly plate, or I could doodle on it. I mean, I've done various things. All right, let's make one for a smaller size. So this is just a piece of scrapbooking paper that I've rounded the corners for. And this is an index card that I have just sprayed Glimmer Mist on. Now, it's not as tall as the one before. Like, as I mentioned, making it at least maybe a ½ an inch all the way around. The size if you want it to be like to take up the maximum amount of space, but I still think that it's doable. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do the same thing that I did before. Fold in one side. Now I'm not folding as much as I have on the others because it's pretty close to the size. Now I'm going to decide, I want this to be the top of my pocket. So I'm going to go ahead and fold that up. I'm going to go ahead and clip. You know, I've made these pockets out of magazine pages. I've made them out of greeting cards. You know, when you get a really cool card and you want to give it a new life, you like the graphics, or even you just like the sentiment inside of it. I'm going to go ahead and glue this one. Glue the insides. Hold it up. And then I'm going to glue the back. Now I'm not going to cut any off of this one. It doesn't really need it. I mean, you really only want to do it for the bulk, and there's not a lot of bulk here. So you do want to use, if you're going to do this on a regular basis, use a nicer glue stick. This one's a tacky glue stick. There's a couple that I have of an Uhu glue stick, which is my favorite. But you want to go ahead and use a nicer glue stick than just, you know, a really inexpensive, school glue. Now, I like it on this. I think it's going to be a perfect library pocket for this little page in a journal. But as you can see, you know, there's really no rules. Let me just show you a couple of jelly print things that I've done. This one I'm going to use for the top of the, so I jelly printed just at the top of the page, and then I turned it around and I did the back half at the bottom. So let's go ahead and make our library pocket out of this. You know, sometimes, especially when I'm making a lot of junk journals, I will take the time to just spend maybe a day and make myself embellishments and just things that I can use in all different colors, and it's kind of fun and exciting. And then, you know, I'll have a whole lot to choose from, and then have a lot to, if I wanted to add a couple of little handmade goodies into a swap or into a pen pal, I already have them done. This is a really super easy, fun one to do. I recently made a bunch of supply style journals, and I included a lot of pockets in those supply style journals, and it was fun. So I'm going to go ahead and glue this down. I don't know if any of you are as addicted to making junk journals as I am. I just enjoy it, and I really love making it out of, you know, books and old books and things that I either have or get at a garage sale. And I am going to cut a little bit of this off just so that it's much neater at the corner. Of course, nobody sees it but you, but just easier to glue it down. And there you go. Well, I hope you've enjoyed my little quick tutorial on how to make library pockets, library style pockets. You know, I am always interested in hearing what you have to say and interested in seeing what you make with your crafty creations. So please leave a link and a comment below to your YouTube channel and let me know what you thought. Anyway, happy crafting. Take care. Aloha.